Close this down. Let me set up a little bit of music. Y'all come on in.
Much more about this on the backside.
Put up our music.
We just gonna watch the DNC together, baby.
It is so good to be with
All right, let's go.
everyone
Let me throw
this
some.
evening in this hall and everyone at home. This is going to be a great week. And I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible President Joe Biden, who will be speaking later tonight. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation.
Can you turn it down a little bit more?
Continue to do. We are forever grateful to you.
Perfect.
That'll work.
Hey, whoever's in the crowd.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, y'all.
And looking out at everyone tonight.
Hi, baby.
I see the beauty of our great nation. People from every corner of our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country. And this November, we will come together and declare with one voice, as one people, we are moving forward. With optimism, hope, and faith, so guided by our love of country, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Let us fight for the ideals we hold dear, and let us always remember, when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Good night, everyone.
There you have it. Governor Tim Walz cheering her on, hoping to be her vice president come November. Kamala Harris on night one of the convention making an appearance, talking about one voice. We are moving forward, optimism, and her familiar fighting words, when we fight, we win. Rachel Scott down on the floor.
Which is interesting. When we fight, we win. I can't hear the video or you if you're doing something.
I believe.
Oh, my bad. I'm on mute.
That together we can make America.
I hear something now.
Yeah, my bad. I'm on mute. But let's run this back. While she talking about when we fight, we win, they're outside fighting right now. This what a protester had to say to Kamala.
There's been talk in the public about Harris as maybe a more understanding person, more willing to listen, more empathetic, whatever the adjectives that have been used. But for us, that's meaningless if there's not a policy change. We don't actually care about what the personality of the president of the United States is. We care about the policies of the president of the United States. And so whether it's Joe Biden or whether it's Kamala Harris or anyone else, our demand remains the same, that we want an end to U.S. aid to Israel. We want an end to the genocide. And the reality is the president of the United States, again, whoever it was, or whoever it is, would be able to end the genocide with one phone call. They would call Netanyahu's government and say, no more arms, no more aid, no more political cover, and the genocide would end immediately. And so our demand remains the same. Kamala Harris, as a candidate, has only given us two policy platforms, that her support for Israel is, quote, ironclad, and that she is against an arms embargo. And so for us, that doesn't signal any type of change. And that's why we're out here demanding that the Democratic Party ends the genocide.
That's why they are outside demanding the Democratic Party end the genocide.
He said what he said.
Let's switch back over. We're almost there, y'all. We waiting on some people, but I guess we can rewind real quick and hear what the VP had to say her damn self, right? Let's run it back.
Kamala Harris making history on night one of the Democratic Convention. As we said, the first Black woman, the first Asian to be at the top of the ticket for a major party in the United States. An extraordinary 29 days in the political life of Kamala Harris. And over the course of the next 4 nights, she will reintroduce herself to America. She will celebrate.
Good evening, everyone.
Here she goes. We'll talk much more about this on the backside.
Good evening. Good evening. It is so good to be with everyone this evening in this hall and everyone at home. This is going to be a great week. And I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible President Joe Biden, who will be speaking later tonight. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do. We are forever grateful to you. Thank you, Joe. And looking out at everyone tonight, I see the beauty of our great nation. People from every corner of our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country. And this November, we will come together and declare with one voice, as one people, we are moving forward. Optimism, hope, and faith, so guided by our love of country, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Let us fight for the ideals we hold dear, and let us always remember, when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Good night, everyone.
The motherfuckers outside is talking about policy changes.
They are
Period.
outside getting I'll pull up another quick one, and then I'm gonna go back to Miss Redhead and
And
her.
which I don't disagree with their protest cause, because I agree the same way. Like, we should not be funding the genocide of another country.
Oh no, we shouldn't.
People have
but
I'm sorry.
No, but people are outside expressing that, right? Here, we'll watch this one. Let me turn this on for you real quick.
With you a few minutes ago, riot-equipped Chicago police marched over this street and have begun making where the breach occurred, and we are going to show you where it happened. About 45 minutes ago, you can see the fence line breached here. You can see the blue-helmeted Chicago police riot team that has moved in and began pulling protesters off of the fence line inside the perimeter, and they began arresting one by one people who had breached this fence line a little while ago. A couple of people were thrown to the ground, handcuffed, and they are being taken away by Chicago police. This unit now has cordoned off the area that was breached to prevent additional people from getting through. Even though this is not directly adjacent to the United Center, it is one layer of perimeter security, this heavy iron fencing that has been constructed to attempt to keep protesters and the United Center front doors as separate as possible. This began with a well-organized and permitted protest in Union Park earlier this afternoon. There were several thousand people who marched peacefully on the streets around Union Park. And then as that wound down, some people, it would appear, ended up at this location and breached the fence line. And that's when things started to go south. At least a couple of people arrested here as Chicago police quickly scrambled this civil disobedience team. Initially, when we arrived, we saw Capitol Police here as well, already wearing gas masks. it would not be unusual in a case like this for CPD to call out their so-called gas teams that they would use in the case of most serious civil disobedience, where they needed to fire off rounds of tear gas in order to move large crowds of people. They've not done that here. It doesn't appear that they will need that, at least the way things look right now. But clearly CPD is wrestling now to get this scene back under control. And of course, as the blue helmets and the face shields with these police officers arrive, that riled up this crowd even more.
As you continue to take a look at what's happening at the scene behind you, do you get a sense that more people are joining this from behind? Because this isn't too far away from where those protesters, as you say, were marching in the area.
They are outside, okay? Wiley's outside. Democrats are outside, okay?
Period.
Everybody doing a little too much. But somebody came out holly jolly. Let's listen to this lady, and then we'll catch up with where the DNC is. I see they brought a man on stage finally, okay?
Hello!
I can't.
State Senator Mallory McMorrow, and this is Project 2025. Now, over the next 4 nights, you are going to hear a lot about what is in this 900-page document. Why? Because this is the Republican blueprint for a second Trump term. That's right. They went ahead and wrote down all the extreme things that Donald Trump wants to do in the next 4 years. And then they just tweeted it out, putting it out on the internet for everybody to read. So, we read it. And whatever you think it might be, it is so much worse. Tonight, I want to tell you about just one aspect of Project 2025. It's planned to turn Donald Trump into a dictator. Okay, right here on page 535, it says, quote, reissue Trump's Schedule F executive order to permit discharge of non-performing employees. Now that doesn't sound that scary, right? But here's what it actually means in plain English. If Donald Trump gets back into the White House, he's going to fire civil servants like intelligence officers, engineers, and even federal prosecutors if he decides that they don't serve his personal agenda. They're talking about replacing the entire federal government with an army of loyalists who answer only to Donald Trump. Now, all right, then. Okay. Page 873. It says, quote, conservatives have long believed in either ending law enforcement activities of independent agencies or ending their independent status. Again, that sounds pretty boring. But what it means is that under Project 2025, Donald Trump would be able to weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political opponents. He could even turn the FBI into his own personal police force. That is not how it works in America. That's how it works in dictatorships.
And that's exactly what Donald Trump and his MAGA minions have in mind. An expansion of presidential powers like no president has ever had or should ever have. Now, by the way, if you're asking if any of this is even legal, well, remember, thanks to Donald Trump's hand-picked Supreme Court, he's now completely immune from prosecution, even if he breaks the law. But that's not who we are, because we believe in a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Not the government of Donald Trump, by Donald Trump, and for Donald Trump. We believe in the separation of powers and the rule of law. We believe in a system built up to serve everyone, not breaking a system to serve one petty, selfish man. The truth is, there's only one way to stop him, and to stop Project 2025. How do we do it? We elect Kamala Harris this November.
Oh.
Be back tomorrow night to tell you what Project 2025 means for your pocketbook.
Okay. It was the way
The book
she
weighs more than she do.
girl, and she had cotton mouth like a motherfucker. Poor lady. Poor
Hold
lady.
on, we got some gentlemen that want to come up and speak for Kamala.
They didn't have her no water up there on that podium.
Dry.
Dry
Dry.
mouth as hell. It's okay.
Okay, I
I'm
haven't
telling
heard.
y'all, this shit been so ghetto. We've been watching a little bit of it. It's been so ghetto. Audio horrible,
you.
just ghetto.
Ghetto. And they outside.
And they outside. And they acting like ain't nobody outside trying to get in.
Listen, that they having to re-fence the fence. Re-fence the fence? Oh, wow. Okay. Y'all must not. Why would y'all think to go to never mind. Why would y'all think to go to Chicago, though?
Chirac City, baby.
They have been complaining. They have been throwing a fit because Chirac, Chicago, is a sanctuary city is what it's called, right? It's a sanctuary city. But
they have international airports, all that.
But they've been pushing back because they've been utilizing lower privileged community buildings to house immigrants. What makes you, and then what's crazy is the people outside are fighting for a ceasefire. They're not even fighting about immigration or any of that. They're fighting about a ceasefire, and they said they're tired of being under Biden. These are their words, not mine.
They said they're tired of funding wars. That's what they said. They're tired of funding genocide, which I agree. I'm tired of it too.
It's like rubbing it in somebody's face. You're in a sanctuary city where they're already overloaded. And then you're gonna come here and put up this little fencing and baby. Kamala, where's your AK? Isn't she a little AK person? Kimmy, can you go up to Chicago and support your homegirl? Because she getting.
I am for.
I'm just where's the other one? There's AKs in the beef sector. Y'all go get your sister.
Please,
over there in Chicago.
she's in need of help right
She
now.
is in need. Y'all get out there and march on the marchers. Y'all get out there. I know. Listen, when I went to college, you couldn't break up a line. Period.
No.
When AKs came through, you couldn't break that line up. Can y'all go? Can the AKs and Kamala's,
the Zetas and the Thetas and the Betas and the
little sorority girls, can y'all go, set a line over there? Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
That's why I can't do commentary, Godmomma, on political things.
It's fine. Let's go. This is not your average political commentary, I guess.
I just want to know, where are the AKs? Why y'all
Shout out
not
to the
busting through
Flippers.
these lines? Hold on,
Yes,
y'all. Fox got me buffering. It's not me, it's Fox.
the people
Fox got
outside want to know, like, what's up? And you know, it's a weary thought because support for this war is on both sides of the candidacy.
Wiener Schnitzel has flavor.
So I don't. It's
I'm
nice
just,
to see these people stand up for something other than themselves.
oh, it's beautiful. I
Mhm.
just find it interesting
Is
that it's
this
a
the dude from
you see this actor?
Scandal?
You see this actor? Wasn't he? Thank you. Wasn't he the president?
Yes, and Carrie
Girl,
Hilson is a host. So they have the Scandal actors as speakers. Girl, you cannot. Where is the mute? But what is happening in my life right now?
this Kamala's people.
What is going on? Jasmine, what is
The other
going
girl came out
on?
with the big old Bible, bigger than her, and said Project 2025. She said, we're going to get it tomorrow. Now they bringing up Scandal, the husband of, right? Wasn't he the cheating bastard that got with,
Yes.
what's her name? Wasn't he the cheater?
Yes, he
cheated
was
on
the
his wife?
president.
Right. Yeah, bring his ass out.
Girl. Oh my gosh.
Hold on, I went back too far. Oh, wait, let me go. She was up here preaching. All right.
This is a hot mess.
Y'all, but they,
a true show, honey.
Chicago.
I can't.
And they had the
tuning
in
from all across America. Welcome to the first night of the Democratic National Convention. Now, how is that for an opening act? I'm just saying. Now, as our vice president just said, over the next 4 days, we will be bringing folks together from all around the country, people from every walk of life, to talk about this nation we love and about a candidate who has devoted her life to public service, who never shies away from a righteous fight, and who always stands up for the people. We are going to talk about the choice America faces in this election. It's a choice not just between two very different candidates, but between two very different futures. We will hear from everyday Americans about what is truly at stake in this campaign. The future of our middle class, the future of reproductive rights, the future of our climate, our security, our schools, the future of our freedom, the future of our very democracy. We will see the vision of our nominee. It is a vision of stability, security, and opportunity for everyday Americans, where we continue to grow this economy by growing the middle class, and where the safety of our children, our families, and our communities are a fundamental civil right. It is a future where, instead of scoffing at allies and fawning over dictators, our president stands up for our friends, faces down our adversaries, and American democracy remains a beacon of hope and inspires the world to take on our biggest challenges together. We'll learn the story of a leader who has dedicated her life to doing the work of making good on the promise of America. A leader who understands the middle class because she grew up in the middle class. A leader who has taken on powerful interests at every step of her career and fought for the rights and freedoms of all of us. And then, of course, we will hear again from the Democratic nominee herself, the next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. because she has a message for us. It is a message that's joyful, not mean-spirited. A message of public service, not self-service. A message of optimism and opportunity, not chaos and division. A message that has woken us up to who we are, to who we've always been. Because Americans are not a cynical people. We are not small-minded. And whether we realize it right now or not, we are currently already writing a new chapter of the American story. And we can dream as big as we want. So I just want to ask you, are you excited?
At this point, just elect him.
Well,
Shit.
good. Are you ready? Okay. Well, then I challenge you to make
Right.
this the moment you get off the sidelines and into the game. So I want you to text JOIN to 30330
I ain't
and get
texting shit.
involved. Because when
You know what this, I'm sorry to pause it on y'all, but this reminds me of when the RNC was going on. Didn't he have Dana White? Didn't Trump have Dana White, the UFC guy?
And Hulk Hogan and shit ripping his shirt off.
What, Hulk Hogan? What are y'all doing?
we fight, what happens? We win, and we are going to win this thing together. And while we're doing it, we are going to have a whole lot of fun. So let's get started.
Okay. Not basketball.
I don't even.
Not basketball on the screen. Child, let's move this right along, y'all.
What is really going on? Now, who's this man?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. It is
He
so
was a
fun
good
to be
actor.
back here in the United Center. And as you guys know, a lot of good stuff has happened in this building, especially in the 90s. You young people, Google Michael Jordan and you can read all about it, okay? So there was an amazing vibe in this building back in those days. And I feel that same winning spirit here tonight.
Oh, he must be a basketball franchise person or something. I don't know
This
who
was
this.
a mess.
He gotta be. They had the basketball on the screen or something. He gotta be. He talking about Michael Jordan and in the 90s, sir. It's 2024.
Oh, right. Gas
So the
was
last time I
97
was in a
cents in the
basketball
90s.
arena was in Paris, France. 9 days ago, some of the best players on earth, 12 incredible American men,
Yeah,
came together to win Olympic gold.
yeah, he gotta be a basketball franchise holder or something. Who is this white man? Anybody in the chat know who this white man is?
Anybody?
And the next night, I was back in that same building watching 12 more of the best players on earth. Our incredible American women do the same thing. And I cannot think of a better metaphor for what this country is all about than the way Team USA came together at the Olympics. We had players from across our wonderful country, players who have trained and fought relentlessly, shed tears trying.
Thank you. Because, girl,
You're not gonna sit up here and talk to me about no fucking athletes, sir. At the Olympics.
absolutely not.
Moving right along.
Million active.
What?
Good evening, America, and good
Good
evening
evening.
to the people that make this world move, the working class.
Amen.
On behalf of 1 million active and retired members of the UAW, I am honored to support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to be our next president and vice president. And I want to say thank you to Joe Biden for making history by walking the picket line with the UAW. For the UAW and for working class people everywhere, this election comes down to one question. Which side are you on?
Uh-oh.
On one side, we have Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who have stood shoulder to shoulder with the working class. On the other side, we have Trump and Vance, two lapdogs for the billionaire class who only serve themselves. So for us in the labor movement, it's real simple. Kamala Harris is one of us.
Oh, okay.
She's a fighter for the working class. And Donald Trump is a scab.
Not a scam, Jack. This shit funny to me.
That's not just my opinion. That's a fact. All we have to do is look at the track record. When Donald Trump was president, corporate America ran wild. Donald Trump did not bring back the auto industry. When Donald Trump was president, auto plants closed. Trump did nothing. Trump told workers in Lordstown, Ohio, that he would be bringing all the auto jobs back. And Trump did nothing.
No thing.
Did Trump say
In
Ohio or
2019,
Michigan?
General
I
Motor
thought he said
workers went
Michigan.
on strike for 40 days for good jobs and a better life. And Trump did nothing. Talk is cheap. But in 2019, you know who was on the picket line standing shoulder to shoulder with auto workers? I'll give you a clue. Her initials are Kamala Harris.
That's not initial, sir.
In 2023,
I'm sorry.
who helped bring jobs back to Lordstown, Ohio? Kamala Harris. And in 2024, who will stand with the working class in our fight for justice? Kamala Harris.
Okay,
And that's the difference. Donald Trump is all talk, and Kamala Harris walks the walk.
Mm.
Woo! In the words of the great American poet, Nelly, it's
Nelly.
getting hot in here.
Sure.
No. Mm-mm.
Are we pandering or no?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. That kind of
Can somebody get Nugs over here? Because they're tokenizing.
Thank you.
It's hot in here. It's hot in here because you're fired up and you're fed up, and the American working class is fired up and fed up.
Right, because Kamala and Biden's been in
The American
office.
working
Thank you,
class
me, bro.
is in a fight for our
I'm sorry.
lives.
I'm on
And
mute.
if you don't believe me, just last night, blue-collar workers, the UAW members at Cornell University had to walk out on strike.
The
for a-
AOC hits the floor next. So, oh boy, are we? Mhm.
better
We
life
getting
because they're
close.
fighting corporate greed. And our only hope is to attack corporate greed head on. Corporate greed turns blue-collar blood, sweat, and tears into Wall Street stock buybacks and CEO jackpots. It causes inflation. It hurts workers. It hurts consumers.
I just want to know, can you pause this real quick before we get into this beautiful young woman? I just want to know, because we've heard from a lot of labor unions, right? A lot of union reps.
Well,
I wanna
and
know-
let's put this out. Hold on, let's put this out to the replay gang. Godmomma and I have been watching this for 2 hours.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Godmomma.
But if you go and watch it in its entirety on your own, you will see that a lot of union representatives gave their endorsement or support of Kamala. So my question is, did they send out a vote to their people in the union? You know what I mean? Like before they came and hit this stage and said we endorse this person. That's what I was thinking.
As far as I know, no.
Right.
As
Because I
far as
know my dad wouldn't have endorsed this. Period.
right. hmm Yeah, as far as I know, no. You'll see some union workers outside. And I'm sure there's some union workers inside, but as far as a general consensus, not that I've heard of.
Right.
No. Or seen or heard or any of that. And I have been keeping, as much as Godmomma, I told you, you know, how I'm feeling about politics lately, but I have been keeping my ear to the street on both sides, just for my peace of mind.
Right.
Not because it's going to change my mind, but I just like to be aware. So no, I haven't heard too much from the union except for tonight. This is the first I've heard the unionized. Now, I do know that unionized workers in the past have been Democratic leaning. I do know that. But as far as just giving the go ahead and this is we all say, yay, Kamala. No, I haven't heard that too much.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Money talk. Hey, Jasmine. I'm not sure who you are, baby. I've never seen you, but thank you for being here, my love. And thank you for your contribution. And you're right. Money talks. Money talks. You're fine, Queen Sister. We ain't doing nothing. We're just listening. This was supposed to be a no commentary, but like I said, we've been listening for 2 hours behind the scenes before we hit live. Okay. And we're actually waiting on Hillary. What'd they say? They said Jill Biden, Joe Biden, and Hillary are going to be speaking tonight. But right now we have the AOC. So let's work through this. Another woman that's been in power for the past how many years? AOC's been AOC for some years now. Okay. But let's all, brace for impact for what she's going to tell us. And you know what? I might learn something. I hope I do.
Chicago! Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision. And thank you, Joe Biden, for your leadership. 6 years ago, I was taking omelet orders as a waitress in New York City. I didn't have health insurance. My family was fighting off foreclosure, and we were struggling with bills after my dad passed away unexpectedly from cancer. Like millions of Americans, we were just looking for an honest shake. And we were tired of a cynical politics that seemed blind to the realities of working people. It was then, only through the miracles of democracy and community, that the good people of the Bronx and Queens chose someone like me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Hillary has hit the stage. Do you guys want to listen to this or kind of skim, fast forward and hear Hillary?
You can put her on a little boost, on a little zoom with a zoom.
She's on a 1.25.
Oh, damn, you put her on 1.5. She talks.
Okay, all right. And then Hillary has hit the stage, by the way.
To elect them in Congress. And America, in my heart, I know from that same cloth of hope and aspiration, we will also elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as President and Vice President of the United States of America. I am here tonight because America has before us a rare and precious opportunity. In Kamala Harris, we have a chance to elect a president who is for the middle class because she is from the middle class. She understands the urgency of rent checks and groceries and prescriptions. She is as committed to our reproductive and civil rights as she is to taking on corporate greed. And she is working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza and bringing hostages home.
What? What?
In Kamala Harris, I see a leader.
I know we sped this up, but I need y'all to hear what she just said. Did y'all hear what she said? I know I sped it up, but did y'all just hear what she said? That Kamala comes from backgrounds like us, which is false, and it's been proven false. Ceasefire when?
And where?
I see a leader with a real commitment to a better future for working families. And Chicago, we have to help her win. Because we know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends. And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day.
A two-bit union buster. Y'all, please listen to these words.
Please. This is interesting.
Please listen to these words.
To lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life. The truth is, Don, you cannot love this country if you only fight for the wealthy and big business. To love this country is to fight for its people, all people, working people, everyday Americans.
I have a question for my chat. How much do you think her suit cost? How much do you think her suit cost right here? I'm just asking, chat, how much? While she's talking shit about people against, I'm against capitalism and busters, how much is the suit that she's wearing? I probably couldn't find that in the Goodwill.
Right.
Like bartenders and factory workers.
Come on,
Godmomma. Go ahead. Let her tell it for herself. Yeah.
And fast food cashiers who punch a clock and are on their feet all day in some of the toughest jobs out there. Ever since I got elected, Republicans have attacked me by saying that I should go back to bartending. But let me tell you, I'm happy to any day of the week because there is nothing wrong with working for a living. Imagine having leaders in the White House who understand that. Leaders like Kamala and Tim. But Chicago, just because the choice is clear to us does not mean that the path will be easy. Over the next 78 days, we will have to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th. But we cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and in the Senate so that we can deliver on an ambitious agenda for the people. Because if you are a working parent trying to afford rent and childcare, Kamala is for you. If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you. If you're an immigrant family just starting your American story, Kamala is for you. America, when we knock on our neighbor's door, organize our communities, and elect Kamala Harris to the presidency on November 5th, we will send a loud message that the people of this nation will not go back. We choose a new path and open the door to a new day, one that is for the people and by the people. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless. God bless you all.
But it was like what we said before we hit this live button. It just feels very playing in my face right now because for the simple fact, like, the person that you're handing me to say elect is not someone who is a sitting governor, who is a sitting senator, who is a sitting mayor. This is a person who has been sitting in a vice presidential seat for the past 4 years, where
Senate
those people...
Senate seat,
Right.
Attorney General seat, prosecutor seat.
Right. and she has been sitting there while those people that the lady just spoke of, the bartenders, the waitresses, have been struggling more so now than they have before with trying to keep food on the table, trying to keep up with daycare, trying to keep up with their bills and all of these extra things. Like, I don't know. It just it does. It feels very playing in my face.
On both sides for me.
Yes, absolutely on both sides. Absolutely on both sides. Because
You gonna have Kid Rock, Donald Trump. How you got Kid Rock on your stage and Hulk Hogan when they've both been known racists and you're trying to beat the racist card? Like, y'all are all playing in my face.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you bring these people out in my face and tell me how you're going to do better for me?
Right. Just come tell me yourself.
No. Go get that. I do appreciate Trump do bring out some Chick-fil-A. Did he bring out his Chick-fil-A girl? Trump do bring out his little Chick-fil-A girl. You know what I'm saying? Trump do, you know what I mean, hit up a little hood here and there. He does. Last time I heard the Democrats were in the hood, it was over at the pizza shop. That's the last time I seen them out in the hood. That was when Obama was in office. Okay. I'm wondering how much further are we going to accept the bullshit they're shoving down our throats, y'all?
Right.
You know how we force feed chickens to bulk them up? They're doing that to us, guys. We are the caged animals. Okay. They are force feeding us and we're just taking it. We're gobbling it down. We're fat. We're happy. But are we really? Are we thriving? Are we really getting our money's worth?
Right.
Oh, because we're the first one to cuss out a nail lady or our lash lady or a hair lady because she didn't lay my shit right. She didn't put my lashes right. She didn't put my nails on right. But we don't cuss out these fucking senators, these governors, these mayors, these presidential candidates. Interesting. Oh no, we'll let Mr. President, who played on a scandal, we'll let him come introduce Hillary and we're all gobble gobble.
Scandal. How fitting is this man? Girl, like, if you can't see it, I don't know what else to say.
In our face. In my face.
In your face, girl.
You know, hold on. Am I not one of the first ones to say, I appreciate a racist who's racist in my face? Well, let me go ahead and choke on my words. I'm not saying they're racist, but at least they're doing it to my face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Meanwhile, people are standing outside.
I can't complain and say, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Period. Fits for president, period.
I can't complain and say, well, I didn't know. Yes, bitch, I did.
Right. Meanwhile, Fitz for president's up here introducing Hillary, and people are outside protesting.
Oh, and this is just day one, y'all. They already broke down the barrier. This is just day one. What did the news reporter say? He said, oh, they weren't in riot gear at first, but then they had to go ball on gas tear gas. And this is day one. Welcome to Chicago, DNC. While y'all are playing with people, they don't care about what you doing inside. They're waiting for you to come outside.
Exactly. And Jasmine hinted to it earlier. This ain't nothing but an energy cipher. Mm-hmm. They know Chicago is a portal, period, among a lot of other things. They know what the fuck they're doing, but is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough?
At this point, give it to the... Never mind. I'm not going to get our page and try. I ain't going to have the feds in my house. Not tonight. Come on, y'all. Let's let President Fitz introduce the next president.
In the East Bay. Yeah.
Oh, wait. He's introducing Hillary. My bad.
Close-knit community where people look out for one another. with a mother who instilled in Kamala Harris the core principles that have defined her life in public service. These are the experiences that made her the leader she is today.
Doesn't hesitate to stand up for what's right, to take.
Oh Lord, I seen a demon.
She left a scar over one of her eyes. She still has it. That's the kind of person Kamala has always been from the very beginning. Someone who doesn't hesitate to stand up for what's right, to take up for the.
What's up with all the purple and the pearls? Y'all don't know that's biblical?
Baby, they
Y'all
should.
don't know that that's biblical?
My fellow people should know that that color in pearls is very biblical. Okay, yeah. Y'all better quit playing.
Purple and pearls.
Y'all can tell me it's sorority, but y'all better quit playing. Yeah.
And to stand up to bullies. I have seen it time and again, whether the bully is an individual, a gang, or a corporation. She fights for all of us. Before we go, I know my mom has one more thing to say.
Lord, here come the scandalous lady of them all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Child, look at the demon. Let me go on mute.
Thank you all so much.
Jazz, it's good to see you. Hi.
When you paused it on the perfect moment. Look at that. Look at this.
She is evil. All right, come on.
The most devious fucking smile, child.
Thank you. Thank you, my fellow Democrats. Thank you, my fellow Americans. Thank you so much. You know, thank you all. Thank you, thank you.
Let her speak, damn.
Thank you.
She telling you to shut up.
Thank you so much. Wow. There's a lot of energy in this room, just like there is across the country.
Like there is outside, you mean?
Something is happening in America. You can feel it. Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. First, though, let's salute President Biden. He has been democracy's champion at home and abroad. He brought dignity, decency, and competence back to the White House. And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your lifetime of service and leadership. And now we are writing a new chapter in America's story. You know, my mother Dorothy was born right here in Chicago before women had the right to vote. That changed 104 years ago yesterday. Think about it. Tennessee became the final state to ratify the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The state legislature was deadlocked until one lawmaker's mother, a widow who read 3 newspapers a day, sent a letter to her son. No more delays, she wrote. Give us the vote. And since that day, every generation has carried the torch forward. In 1972, a fearless Black Congresswoman named Shirley Chisholm she ran for president. And her determination let me and millions of others dream bigger, not just because of who she was, but because of who she fought for. Working parents, poor children, the last, the least, and the lost. In 1984, I brought my daughter to see Geraldine Ferraro, the first woman nominated for vice president. If we can do this, Jerry said, we can do anything. And then there was 2016, when it was the honor of my life to accept our party's nomination for president. And nearly 66 million Americans voted for a future where there are no ceilings on our dreams. And afterwards, we refused to give up on America. Millions marched, many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future. Well, my friends, the future is here. I wish my mother and Kamala's mother could see us. They would say, keep going. Shirley and Jerry would say, keep going.
Trump gonna drag the fuck out of Hillary.
You know he is, Sam.
Women fighting for reproductive health care are saying, keep going. Families building better lives, parents stretching to afford childcare, young people struggling to pay their rent. They're all asking us to keep going. So, with faith in each other and joy in our hearts, let's send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House. You know, the story of my life and the history of our country is that progress is possible, but not guaranteed. We have to fight for it and never, ever give up. There is always a choice. Do we push forward or pull back? Come together as we the people, or split into us versus them? That's the choice we face in this election. Kamala has the character, experience, and vision to lead us forward.
Like you with Haiti?
I know her heart and her integrity.
Right.
We both got our start as young lawyers, helping children who were abused and neglected. That kind of work changes a person. Those kids stay with you. Kamala carries with her the hopes of every child.
Bro, in our face?
Mm-hmm.
In our face?
Mm-hmm. Like,
Protected every family.
You hearing this, Godmomma?
girl, like I said, they should. I would have rather heard Bill up here endorsing Kamala than Hillary. Period. Hillary is not a good look. She's not a good look. She wasn't a good look in 2016. That's why she got blown out of the water. And she's not a good look in 2024. Bring Bill, please, with his Make America Great Again. Okay?
Right.
Period.
Bring.
Family.
This is in our face, bitch.
Help every community she served. So as president, she will always have our backs. And she will be a fighter for us. She will fight to lower costs for hardworking families, open the doors wide for good paying jobs. And yes, she will restore abortion rights nationwide. As a prosecutor, Kamala locked up murderers and drug traffickers. She will never rest in defense of our freedom and safety. Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial. And when he woke up, he made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Don't forget she locked up truant parents too.
Because you were never convicted, bitch. Because you were never convicted. Julian Assange just was released. See, I'm not going to play about WikiLeaks, and I'm not here to drag Democrats, but you're not going to sit in my face. You're not going to play
What
with
does
me.
what does the X say? Everybody can get
it. And everybody. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Everybody can get it. Hillary in our face. Girl, if I were you, I would have never, what they say, tucked tail and ran. Oh, she bold as fuck, ain't she? This is what you call bold.
As vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
Who did?
Her hair is cute, though. I do like her hair.
But we also know, as Vice President, Kamala sat in the Situation Room and stood for America's values. I know what it takes, and I can tell you, as Commander-in-Chief, Kamala won't disrespect our military and our veterans. She reveres our Medal of Honor recipients.
That's funny because her vice. Let me stop. Sorry, guys.
She won't be sending love letters to dictators. She will defend democracy and our Constitution and will protect America from enemies, foreign and domestic.
I will.
Think about it.
Will.
The Constitution says the president's job is to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Those are the words of our founders. Take care. Just look at the candidates. Kamala cares about kids and families, cares about America. Donald only cares about himself. On her first day in court, Kamala said 5 words that still guide her. Kamala Harris, for the people. That is something that Donald Trump will never understand. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record? He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. But we have him on the run now. So, no matter what the polls say, we can't let up.
What?
We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. We have to fight for the truth. We have to.
No matter what the polls say?
Conspiracy rabbit holes. She knows conspiracy world coming for her ass for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's how we win elections, is through the polls, madame. What do you mean, no matter what the polls say? Oh, no, it matters.
It definitely matters. The conspiracy world, they gonna say this is her clone anyways. This ain't her. She been dead.
Fight for Kamala as she will fight for us.
Y'all, she just got her hair done and got her face like lifted or something. This is Hillary, y'all. Not a clone on earth could recreate this in our face. Talking about save the children, bitch. How many children passed under you and your? See, this is why I can't do it, because I'm gonna hurt your feelings if you're a Democrat.
Because you know what?
But if you're a Republican, I'll hurt your feelings too, because they're crazy as well.
It still takes a village to raise a family, heal a country, and win a campaign.
What?
Right, Jeff. Right.
And America needs every one of us. Our energy, our talents, our dreams. We're not just electing a president, we're uplifting our nation. We're opening the promise of America wide enough for everyone. Together, we put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling. And tonight, so close to breaking through once and for all, I want to tell you what I see through all those cracks and why it matters for each and every one of us. What do I see? I see freedom. I see the freedom to make our own decisions about our health, our lives, our loves, our families. the freedom to work with dignity and prosper, to worship as we choose or not, to speak our minds freely and honestly. I see freedom from fear and intimidation, from violence and injustice, from chaos and corruption. I see the freedom to look our children in the eye and say, in America, you can go as far as your hard work and talent will take you, and mean it. And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States. Because, my friends, when a barrier falls for one of us, it falls and clears the way for all of us. So for the next 78 days, we need to work harder than we ever have. We need to beat back the dangers that Trump and his allies pose to the rule of law and our way of life. Don't get distracted or complacent. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Volunteer. Be proud champions for the truth and for the country that we all love. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, that we were here, and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand up. This is when we break through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go win it.
Girl. You know, I don't even know what to say after that.
Oh, he's back.
That we all stand on the shoulders of Hillary Clinton.
What?
So I'm just checking. Are you ready to join this fight yet? Okay, that's the answer I was looking for. So I want you to text JOIN to 30330 and get involved.
Yeah. We're waiting on the president.
The president.
We're waiting on Biden to bring his ass up here with his wife.
Mr. President.
Lord, I want to hear what the president, the standing president, has to say. Okay. Y'all got all these hoops and hollers and whoops and whoop. Listen, it's 9:20. It's 10:20. Oh, there's somebody else. Oh, Lord. Somebody else is joining the panel. Who is this man?
All night. Oh, no.
Let's hear this man.
He looks like a mafia man.
Okay.
Is that Uncle Skeeter?
Yes, he is. He's supposed to do it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's supposed to do it tonight. That's what we waiting on.
Hello, America.
Hello.
And welcome to the Democracy Convention.
Democracy.
Welcome to the Freedom Convention. And thank you for the beautiful weather, Chicago. It's been a little rough on Capitol Hill, where it's not just the heat, it's the stupidity. Now, we meet in this great city tonight where Abraham Lincoln was nominated in 1860 to save the Union from fanatical insurrectionists, and where Franklin D. Roosevelt was renominated by Democrats in 1940 to defeat fascist dictators. Now, we fight in our time to defend our freedom and our democracy against the banana Republicans who have converted Lincoln's party into a dangerous cult of personality. You know, I'll never forget the pounding on the doors of the House chamber on January 6th, were the screams to follow. Hundreds of our police officers taunted and attacked. 140 of them wounded by extremists wielding baseball bats, steel pipes, even American flags. 5 people died that day, and 4 more of our officers took their own lives in the days and weeks to come. All of this after Trump
was defeated by more than 7 million votes by the great Joe Biden. It was after 80 judges rejected every ridiculous claim raised by this sore loser who does not know how to take no for an answer from American voters, American courts, or American women. Remember what the mob chanted as they stormed the Capitol and injured our officers? Hang Mike Pence. Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution, someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution is to take care that the laws are faithfully executed, not that the vice president is executed. Pence has now joined more than 24 officials from Donald Trump's own administration in denouncing him, an historical record. And Pence is the first vice president in more than 2 centuries not to support the president he served with in a general election. And by the way, J.D. Vance, do you understand why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor. They tried to kill him because he would not follow Trump's plan to destroy and nullify the votes of millions of Americans. Your votes, Pennsylvania. Your votes, Michigan.
Who is he talking about?
Your votes, Georgia.
You're on mute. Hey, Nikki.
He's trying to throw a monkey wrench in the thing, and yes, Pence was extremely Christian based, and there was some disagreements with that. What he's trying to do right now, hold on, but what he's trying to do right now is trying to correlate Vance and Pence. Mind you, it's been since 2016, 2020 that Pence served, and now it's 2024. So it's not like it was back to back.
Right.
So I don't like what he's saying with that. Now,
because he made it seem like they had an attempt, they tried to kill the VP he was going to pick.
Right.
I don't know who that is.
And Trump didn't know who to pick because he wasn't. Now, this isn't my words. This is just a little, from the back end drama. Trump didn't know who to pick because he didn't know who to trust. Because again, Trump is trying to get loyalists, right? So there's a lot of people who aren't loyal to Trump. They're loyal to other things, which, as I've done my research, all of them are loyal to other things. So, Trump was not a senator. Trump does not have a law degree. Trump was not into politics. This man was just a capitalist who said, listen, and he owned up to it. We tend to forget when him and Hillary went back and forth and he said, oh, I utilized those tax credits and so the fuck do you. We tend to forget that. So everybody's, I'm not saying Trump's perfect. I'm not saying Kamala's perfect. I'm just saying there's a lot of, it's like a monkey where we're just throwing shit at each other. Let's throw shit.
Right.
It's a mudslinging contest, right? So Trump did this. They didn't like his VP, but that's funny because his VP, Pence, and the VP, Vance, those two VPs both really like the Project 2025.
Right. They mirror each other a lot.
Yes, and Trump is saying, I'm not rocking with it. I just need to get on board by any means necessary. Trump has now gotten to a point where desperate measures are calling desperate times. I've told y'all this before. If Trump is bidding for president right now as hard as he can to avoid some jail time, okay?
Period.
We cannot trust, not now. No, y'all need... If you can trust your fucking president, then you should be able to trust your neighbor. But if you can't trust your neighbor, then why the fuck are you trusting your president? That's just how I feel right now. Go start getting in your community. Get to know your neighbors before you worried about casting who's right, who's wrong. But again, this is my opinion, and I am a nothing ass bitch. Y'all do you.
Nevada, Arizona. Are we going to go back to the days of election suppression and violent insurrection?
What? Okay, shut up.
We're not going back.
Hey, Nikki.
Well, look, 1 week after that beautiful day, as Trump calls it, the Republicans, 10 Republicans, joined all of the Democrats to impeach Trump for the worst high crime and misdemeanor ever committed by a president, inciting insurrection against our own Constitution. Make no mistake, a man who uses fraud, theft, and violence to take power will commit any crime to keep it. And now Trump's promising to pardon hundreds of his fellow criminal convicts and insurrectionists. He calls for, quote, the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those in the Constitution. My friends, are we the people going to let Donald Trump terminate our Constitution and obliterate the blessings of liberty for our posterity? That's right. We're going to elect Kamala Harris. We're going to elect the career prosecutor and inspiring public servant and coach.
Career prosecutor.
What'd you say? Okay.
I'm just giggling at Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood looking at.
I'm a black woman. Kamala, I heard you're a black woman as well. However, as a black woman, from woman to woman, Shirley, Barbara, understand that Black Americans do not feel comfortable with prosecutors. We just don't.
We just don't. Especially those who have had a record of locking up truancy for not really investigated truancy. Right.
But
just
out of her own mouth, she said, "Oh, I learned at a very young age, all I had to do was flick my pen and I could sign it away. I could turn a misdemeanor to this." Girl, that's why we don't fuck with prosecutors.
I could, and what did she say? I could ruin your life with the stroke of a pen.
Now, I know that same stroke can come from Donald Trump and but it's just, it's that trust factor that's kind of, I don't know. Maybe other people feel comfortable with the prosecutor. I don't know.
Walls, and we're going to defeat Donald Trump, the career criminal and incorrigible recidivist con man, and his pet chameleon, J.D. Vance. And America, let's make it a landslide so big that Donald Trump and his kangaroo court Supreme Court justices cannot even try to steal it. Let's make every vote count. Let's make sure every vote is counted. Let's let freedom ring, and let's let democracy work in America.
Well, thank you, Uncle Scooter, for those nice words of encouragement. Thank you. Thank you. Interesting. I can't see my eyes is closed.
Well, good evening, America.
Hey.
November 5th, our nation will hire a president, a commander-in-chief, and leader of the free world. So let's compare their resumes, shall we?
Okay.
One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. HU.
Worked at the college with an HBCU. And then here comes Nikki. Here we go. She says, Kamala was just upholding the laws. She didn't make the laws. We'll get into that soon enough. She was just upholding the laws, y'all. Isn't that what police officers do? They're just upholding the law.
Do they even know the law?
That's why the laws have to change. That's why we put trust into senators, attorney generals, governors. The police office, the sheriff's office, yes, uphold the law.
But do they even know the law in its entirety? No. So how? And that's always been my problem.
Marijuana?
Is how are you going to enforce the law as a whole if you yourself don't even know or understand the law as a whole?
Let me switch it this way for some people. I don't know who y'all are in the chat. I don't know your background, but let me switch it up for y'all. Let me switch it up and say you were just taking orders. You're overseas. They say bomb this, do that. You're just taking orders. You're just taking orders. You know it's wrong, but you're just taking orders.
The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal.
Oh.
With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it. Her entire career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator, she's always worked for one client, the people. Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old, lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. Listen, y'all, he's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem. While Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights to be restored. She is also the leader we need on the global stage. She helped secure the release of Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin, and MAGA holds legislation hostage here at home, critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the Farm Bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare. America, looking at the 2 choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap sheet. She presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair. Y'all know what I said that other time.
I just want to hop in real quick while she's bragging about rap sheets. This is also the same party that wants to defund certain police stations. Okay? Just keeping that in mind. While we're talking about rap sheets and criminals walking free,
right?
Y'all want to defund some of the police.
Mm-hmm.
In Mar-a-Lago,
Well, Donald Trump wants to put our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th. Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America. In the real world, this wouldn't even be close. But this election is.
Love you for
Don't
that.
make a mistake. We are the underdogs in this fight, even though there's only one person qualified, only one person who's done the work and who has delivered the results. And she needs you.
Only one person has done the work. One person. Don't worry about anything else. Just one person has done the work.
And that's so unfair to say to everyone else who has actually done the work. Not myself, just other, you know what I'm saying? To the people who have lobbied, to the people who have advocated, to the people who have protested, to the people who have written and changed laws. It takes a whole
The people who have written her speech.
Exactly.
Y'all, let's rewind a little bit and let me settle myself down.
It really does sound like an award show, Nikki, and I don't know, like, and, you know, before
It's disrespectful.
it is, and even I don't remember if we went live during the RNC or not, but we definitely watched it, and it was the same vibe. Very, I mean, was it more home Southern comfort, you know, type of deal? Yes, it wasn't so rah 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 rah, but it's all the pony horse show.
Well, when we went through the RNC, we still had Biden as a candidate.
Right.
Okay. We didn't go through the RNC as Kamala as the other candidate, right? So it was very easy for the Republicans to be like, look at what we're up against. This man can't complete a sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was very easy for the Republican National Committee to come up with their ripping of their, and I was embarrassed with that too. Like, what? That's when
Right.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all can hate me all you want. I said it before. Unless Jesus Christ is on the bill, y'all not gonna see me voting for not now one of these motherfuckers. At this point, I want to say some things, but it will get me banned and the feds will show up at my house. There's people I'll vote for, and none of them are American.
Right.
Okay? Because y'all, American candidates are kind of playing in my face. Y'all are dumbing it on both sides. You guys are dumbing it down like we're just idiots. And then I see the crowd and I'm like, oh, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of y'all are go along, get alongs. A lot of y'all are like, oh, wait, you know, this sounds good for now. But what sounds good in 20 years?
Right.
What sounds good in 20 years, y'all?
And it's sad. Like, one sad part is a lot of the people are just voting for someone based on their skin complexion, based on their gender, and that's definitely not supposed to be democracy.
Well, I did look into some of her policies, and they weren't her policies.
Well, everyone is saying that, what is it? It's women's reproductive rights,
She talked
middle
about
class, immigration for families, and it was like 5 things. They keep every speaker has hit on it at least once or twice. So that's what I'm gathering that her full policy is.
Well, we just heard tonight that they're building 3 million houses. And child. But this is day one. This is day one of DNC. I promise y'all, we'll do part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, whatever, with less commentary. I'm just
or not.
There are or not. I don't know. There's people outside right now fighting. Okay. This is how I feel from a conservative standpoint. I'm not Republican, but I'm Republican-ish. Okay. I'm not Jew. I'm a Jew-ish. Okay. Republican-ish. But you have people outside tearing up stuff. They went and boarded up certain businesses. They went and did all these things. But this is your own party.
Mm-hmm.
If your own speak the truth, show the truth, speak on things. There are college students that we've talked about it, Godmomma.
Right.
We've talked about it on our channel multiple times about how college students have given up their graduation rights, how they've given up their certain things to do protesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those weren't Republicans.
No.
And I am not team Republican. I am not team Democrat. I am, and Jesus Christ, that's team I'm on. And
hold on, I'm about to come in on my laptop real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on.
Okay. And I don't want to force anybody to feel some type of way. Feel your way. Let's disagree. Let's agree. Let's get upset. Let's, have conversations. But don't sit here in my face and say it's only one person who's been able to do this. Are you kidding me? Just 2 months ago, you guys were endorsing Joe Biden.
Right.
So
can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Don't treat us like we're stupid. I know there's ignorant people on this earth, and I know a lot of them exist in America, but there is some very capable, well-educated people who are able to comprehend what you're saying. And I can't go with it. I can't.
Right.
I can't go with it. I can't go with it.
For me, it's more so of like, I vote for the truth. Whoever's going to be open and transparent and honest and do the right thing,
Yeah.
There's a lot
yet to find that.
There's a lot of different things that we could be discussing in these conventions when it comes to what we're going to do for the American people, as opposed to, airing out that Trump has 34 counts or, 34 felonies. We all know this at this point. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that. That's not new information. We need to know what you're going to change, since your seat is going to change from vice president to president. What is going to change with that name change for you? And I haven't heard anything but when we fight, we win. And if we were in Nikki and I like watching court. So in my mind, the burden is on the Democrats at this point to prove why I should keep you in office. The burden is on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nikki also knows football. And this is a Hail Mary, okay? This is a Hail Mary.
This is too much.
But I'm watching it. We're watching it. And let us continue to watch it. Let us keep love you, Nikki. And let us continue to watch it. Because again, if you are in agreement with what they're saying, please, I'm not here to taint you or remove you or any of that. Do you? I'm not here to discourage anybody from voting. I'm at an age Godmomma and I talked about it earlier, where, you know, I'm just at an age where information is coming to me differently now than when I was 20 or when I was 29 or, you know, whatever.
Right.
The information is just coming to me different now. And mind you, I don't have young children at home anymore. I have grown-ups damn near.
Right.
Okay, so it's not like, oh, I have to wait the next 20 years and, you know what I'm saying? No, my kids are about to, you know, they don't have to leave the house, but they're almost at the age where, you know, if I want to, bitch, I can, you know?
Right. They're right there at that age.
So
where they
do
can
you.
make their own decisions for themselves, where what laws are put in place do affect them, you know. They can't run to their mother and say, hey, come fix this for me, or their dad and say, hey, come fix this for me. They gotta kind of figure it out on their own. And you know, one thing I can agree with, what I've heard so far this whole time, is the reproductive rights thing. I think it is very intrusive to tell someone that they're going to get the death penalty. But I think that's also kind of fear mongering as well, because if you remember back to the RNC convention, Trump mentioned, you know,
He backpedaled.
yes, he did. And he said, you know, I feel like abortion should be for medical, you know, situations or trauma situations, which is a good line right there. You know, and some people even go as far as to say should be a cap. That's not, I don't want to have that discussion today, but reproductive rights is something that does affect women, and I am a woman.
And Kamala's been vice president for 3.5 years.
Right.
I know that it was signed off, you know, Supreme Court-ish, but I also know that you can veto a bill.
Absolutely.
Kamala, you don't have birth children.
Right.
Kamala has stepchildren, y'all. Okay? Kamala hasn't pushed a baby out her coochie, as far as I know.
Or had one taken out of her stomach. Okay.
Or had to go through that reproductive situation, whether a fail or success. So it's very hard for me, again, to listen to a woman or a man. A woman, it's very hard for me. Please don't tell me about me and mine when you haven't experienced me and mine.
Right. Or even experience
you and or a man. I don't care if you're a trans. I don't give a fuck what you are. If you don't know what it's like to have a fetus in your private parts, don't tell me about a fetus in my private parts. Don't do it.
Right. The audacity.
The audacity.
You know,
all right, y'all.
like,
We gotta continue on because we still waiting on. We're late, y'all. We've been up here. Oh, me and Godmomma been up here forever.
Needs your one vote this November. Can we count on you?
I don't know, sis. Probably not.
Some of you know a little bit of my history. Some of you don't. So let me tell you. I was a public defender.
Oh, Lord.
I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor. Yeah. She was the first attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism.
Because of lawsuits. She didn't put that part in. Because of lawsuits.
She still did it though, girl. She still did.
Because of lawsuits.
Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say. I did not copy out for her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked into that courtroom and said, Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that. Many of you know her credentials, but what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume. Is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged. I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met, but she saw right through me. She saw the distress. I immediately began crying. And the most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened. It's so hard for me to tell this story. She then said, among other things, "You are exactly where God wants you. Your district chose you because they believe in you, and so do I."
Is that good old Andy Bashir?
Right, I'm gonna stop. Okay.
Look like it.
The next month, I went viral for the first of many times to come. For hitting Republicans with a dose of their own medicine. That brief but impactful
Still no
interaction
Biden.
gave me my legislative legs, and I've been running ever since. The question before us is, will a vindictive villain violate voters' vision for a better America or not? I hear alliterations are back in style. We deserve better. We deserve a president who can be a bright light in a sea of darkness. One who will pull us forward, because we won't go back. Amanda Gorman said it best. There's always light if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
Yeah, you know, the part of me hope Kamala win for real. Just because on the strength of
That's what our other co-host said.
Just because of I
That's
wanted
what
to
our
do the
other
same
co-host said.
shit
Didn't
Obama did.
Salt through a fit?
Not a
Salt
damn
through a
thing.
fit. Salt through a fit. He said, "I hope Kamala wins so you nothing ass niggas can learn a lesson." I said, "We can't do that, Salt. That's not what we want." Listen, Biden is still not here, y'all.
And it is what? Chicago is
It is
ahead of us.
9:56
So
our
it
time.
is, it's 11 o'clock there. Look at old Andy.
Look,
Bashir.
he could go by. I ain't even got to hear what this homeboy got to say. Look, here we go. And still no president. Now, y'all know he got sundown. Y'all know that sundown hits hard. It does. Right? Sundown hits hard for some of these elders.
Hey, Tracy.
Where is our president?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
guess
It's
he's
almost,
not showing. You know, he might show up tomorrow with the Obamas. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe tonight we just got Hillary. I don't know. They said he was on the docket, Godmomma.
he was supposed to be after Hillary. Tracy said he's asleep.
Hey, Trace. Love you, friend. Oh, I was over there with Tracy acting up on Big Out. She's still trying to recruit us. She's still trying to recruit us, Godmomma.
Girl.
She said we would be good hosts. She's like, Lurker, I don't know why you don't be over here and be a host. I had to turn her on to, you know what I turned, sorry y'all, I have to pause for the cause because my cousin's here. I turned Tracy on to Wiley today. I sure did.
Oh shit.
I sure did. I said, Tracy.
We may have to exit off on a little Wiley clip. Just
He was out there dragging them people on Vegas Strip. He said white lady, black lady, obese lady, sock man. I said, Wiley. I told Wiley, he got with the security guards, and I told Wiley, sing for the security guards. He did. All right, well, back to he is a mess. He is a mess. Go ahead and subscribe to him, Tracy, because he gonna be a mess here in a couple days. They about to go, the beef sector about to go to Vegas. Anyways, okay, back to this, y'all. I'm sorry. What is this guy's name? This is what's his name? He another U.S. senator. Isn't this another or maybe U.S. representative? He might not be a senator. My bad. He just like the AOC. He is exactly like the AOC. But what's his name?
girl, I'll be lying to you.
I can't remember his name.
Georgia senator.
Goofy.
Well,
Look at him.
hello,
Come on
America.
now. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so
Come
very
on.
much.
You're welcome.
On January 5th, 2021,
Oh,
the people
Lord.
of Georgia did an amazing thing. They sent a black kid who grew up in public housing and the Jewish son of an immigrant to the United States Senate in one fell swoop.
Huh?
What?
Among those Georgians was my then 82-year-old mother. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia. Do you know where that is?
Mm-mm.
It's Waycross, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
She grew up in Waycross, Georgia, where she picked other people's cotton and other people's tobacco. But because this is America, the 82-year-old hands that used to pick somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator.
Shout out to you, brother.
This is my America. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Georgia.
Mm.
Thank you, America, for raising your...
The same Georgia with the high STD rates, the same Georgia that has millionaires that hasn't given back to their community, the same Georgia who has had issues with where are they going with their what are those immigrant cities called? What are they called? Sanctuary cities. So Georgia, have you opened your doors to the immigrants?
Or the state prison systems that people are being extorted and dieted every day?
Every
Corruption.
day. Raped, stabbed, cell phones, TikToks,
Internal
egos.
corruption. Crazy.
And
Thanks, Mom.
it's not the inmates, it's the COs.
Thank you.
Y'all haven't even added to the COs. What was it called when you get paid?
Salary.
Salary.
Mhm. And that was some things we've said on previous shows, things we were listening for. Prison reform, education reform, you know, and I have yet to hear too much of anything.
How much do you think his suit is worth? How much is this man wearing right now? But he says, thank you, Mama. Thank you, state of Georgia. Your state, sir, needs to be reevaluated. Don't you come up here and tell us nothing, because we have inside info on the Georgia State Prison facility.
Thank you for the breaking news, King Raccoon.
The prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children.
Countries are locking down because of monkeypox.
So together we flipped the Senate, held the House, and we sent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Together we vaccinated our citizens.
You know what's interesting? Monkeypox isn't a concern for the protester outside. Let me get back. Hold on. Before we get into Georgia, I'm fixing to drag this governor. Oh
They
my
said
gosh.
we
Ooh,
outside.
I'm fixing to drag this governor to pieces. I won't do it today. But what's going on outside? We want to know. And you know what's embarrassing for us? Is Georgia's part of the South.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this.
Goofy.
Mm.
He handsome, but he goofy. Girl, he goofy.
Okay, let me share this tab instead. This was going on outside of Georgia earlier today, y'all. Earlier today.
And here's some of the protesters who are yelling at the police, shouting, "The whole world is watching," as this unfolds here.
One of the fears here that is now a reality is the folks, the groups that have shown up without permit, but they've shown up, they've arrived to cause chaos.
To cause chaos.
Okay.
Did they show up and arrive to cause chaos, or did they show up and arrive to have their voice heard like we American people are supposed to do, right? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Take to the streets, take to where our politicians are, and voice our opinions. They said they want us to stop funding wars. That's what they said. And they stand on big business out there.
Mm-hmm. So y'all in Chicago, but you from Georgia, and you telling us, what you've done. Go ahead, Governor.
We fortified our cities and our towns, and we stood by our small businesses. Together, we set out to heal the land. A nation besieged by a deadly pandemic and beset by the awful and divisive rhetoric of a man too small for the office entrusted him or the task set before him. The day after my January 5th election, he instigated an insurrection, a violent assault on our nation's capital and the peaceful transfer of power, all driven by the big lie. But behind the big lie was an even bigger lie. It is a lie that this increasingly diverse American electorate does not get to determine the future of the country. The lie and the logic of January 6th is a sickness. It is a kind of cancer that then metastasized into dozens of voter suppression laws all across our country. We must be vigilant tonight because these anti-democratic forces are at work right now in Georgia and all across our country. And the question is, who will heal the land? And so here we are, America. Are you ready?
All right, womp.
Are you ready to stand up in this moral moment? Stand up for the best in the American covenant. Elections are about the character of a country. And we must decide, again, we are the latest generation of Americans who get to decide what kind of country we want to be. And we must choose between the promise of January 5th and the peril of January 6th. A nation that embraces all of us or just some of us. Donald Trump's America is the America of January 6th. People who have no vision traffic in division. He does not know how to lead us, and so he wants to divide us. America, make no mistake, Donald Trump is a plague on the American conscience. He is a clear and present threat to the precious covenant we share with one another. And yes, I saw him holding the Bible and endorsing a Bible as if it needed his endorsement. He should try reading it. It says, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. He should try reading it. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. It says, inasmuch as you've done it unto the least of these, you have done it also unto me.
It does.
I choose the American covenant. E pluribus unum, out of many one. I choose January 5th. I choose a nation that provides a path for ordinary people and gives every child a chance.
Georgia, you don't offer free lunch.
And that's Joe Biden's America. And he's been fighting for it for more than a half century. President Biden, America is so much better because of you, a true patriot who has always put the people first. Thank you, Joe.
Baby, when I go to the grocery store, I
Thank you,
spend
Joe.
hundreds of dollars. No, thank you, Joe. Ain't no thank you, Joe. The fuck going on here? I'm with them people sitting outside. When we gonna stop funding these wars? Period. Because I'm sick of this shit. Y'all up here talking about this, that, and the third. But knowing you sending billions and billions of dollars to bomb other countries. You up here talking about this man got 34 counts of fucking felonies, but not talking about the man sitting in office paying the money to have innocent women and children and elders slaughtered by the hundreds of thousands daily. Y'all can get out my face with this bullshit. Like, for real.
Well, I want to share something with us, and I know I'm taking us off grid, but that's what I do. I'm a nothing ass bitch. We going off grid real quick, okay? We gonna head over to Twitter, and I want to share something with y'all. Now, this is not against Democrats. This is not against Republicans. This is just something that was shared, okay? So I'm gonna share it with y'all. It was a repost I did. Hold on, let me see. Let me go down right here. So let me share this with y'all. Massachusetts. I don't know if y'all can read this. Let's see if I got y'all big enough. Hold on, let me make this big for y'all. Thank you.
There we go. You're welcome.
Thank you. Massachusetts tax the rich. Now they have an extra $1.8 billion to spend. In November 2022, this is Massachusetts, y'all. This ain't from the South. Voters approved 4% tax income on over $1 million. So if you make over $1 million, you gonna have to come off 4% tax for the state of Massachusetts. The state can now use that money on free public schools, the meals, free community college, and public transit. Okay? So I want y'all to go look this up. This is the state of Massachusetts. This is what they chose to do for their state. They put a cap on, hey, if you make $1 million, we're going to go ahead and tax you a little bit here and there. They ended up saving $1.8 billion, which is more than what they were expecting. Okay. Let me come in here so you guys, and I'll share the link with you guys so you guys can get the link for yourselves. Okay. This is something when they say give back to the states and get rid of federal government, this, that, and the other. I want to say something about the governor of fucking Georgia. Atlanta is the new home of millionaires. It is a port. It is a melting pot. There's a lot of people that have decided to take their business there and create things. There is nothing wrong with taxing the rich.
Nothing.
It's what you do with those taxes that makes a difference.
Right. I heard someone make the argument the other day, and I could listen to it. They made the argument that if you put heavy taxes on the rich, then the people that work underneath them suffer because they end up taking it out on them. They end up not giving them bonuses. They end up not giving them raises as they should, because they're trying to make up for that high tax that they have to pay, which does it make it right? No, but I can see where that it makes tons of sense business wise. If I'm getting cut off the top, you're getting cut off the top, where you might have been getting a dollar raise every year. Now we're going back to 25 cents every 6 months.
Unfortunately, it's still affordable though, Godmomma.
Yeah. But they still have to live that lifestyle that they're accustomed to. Do they don't, in a perfect world, would they say, okay, we're going to pay high taxes and we're still going to give to the people how we're supposed to? Absolutely. But that's not what's going to happen. That's what's never happened and won't happen. The rich are always going to eat the poor.
Mm-hmm. And it's when
and the
you,
middle class suffers.
Exactly. But it's when you come in and allow some type of capping for your state.
Absolutely.
Okay. If we're not taxing you for other things here in Texas, you don't get state taxed. You don't get other taxes. Putting a cap on that and giving back would 4%. Okay. Now, if you took away their federal taxes, if you took away their other stuff, which some of the GOP wants to do, other people want to do, and actually just hold off. And like you said, we can't trust people. But if we could, I mean, people can be fed. People can be housed. People could be medicated.
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what we should do. That's how we should. I'm just saying there's an example that it has worked.
Right.
There's an example where, there's an example. I'm not like I said, I'm not from the North. I don't know what Massachusetts has going on. I don't know. I'm not from out there. I don't know what y'all do out there. But for them, they put a cap on some certain stuff and it worked for them. And they ended up getting more money than they expected. And they were honest about it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it can work. Capping, monitoring, producing, redirecting, it can work. There's proof, right? So when people come in and say, well, it's not going to work because it's this and it's that, we've got other things we need to work on. No, that's not true.
No,
That's not true.
I mean, we allow every child, no matter the income, free lunch. No, the richest to the poorest, you have a free lunch at school. You have a free breakfast at school. Any student that goes through their high school and maintains at least a C average will get 2 years paid at the local community college. They can get their associates for free. And we don't hurt for anything in the state of Kentucky. Now, that just proves that it can work across the country. So all of these things that we're sitting here, well,
There's
he doesn't
proof
want
it can
this.
work.
It's proof that it's been working. Kids have. Do we not remember Michelle Obama is the one who pushed all of these
Yes, because I
wholesome
did a live stream.
lunches?
Yes, because I did a live stream with Diet Melanin on IG, and we joked about no child left behind type stuff. Yes.
Right. So this is nothing new. Children have, are some districts a little not giving as others? Yes, but for the majority, children are now being fed at school. I would like someone to tell me a school where they're not, that is public, not private. A public school that is not freely feeding children.
Oh, I could name a few right here in Texas. Girl, if you ain't got no lunch money, and they'll do chargebacks, like your child can't eat today because they're $5 behind. Yes, that happens in Texas.
And those are those old ass good old boy mindset. Is that Jill? There's Jill.
Jill. Come on,
Joe
y'all.
couldn't make it.
I don't know. Joe might be next.
Thank you.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta listen to the president's wife. What is she, the first lady or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here come our first lady, y'all.
She's pretty. talking about?
She's pretty where?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. She's good. She's decent looking. If you bring her over to the black sector, bitch, she ain't pretty.
Thank you.
Jill, look at her cheeks. Jill, we will drag you to filth. Don't come to the black sector. Go ahead and stay over there with Kamala. Okay.
She's rich, right, Crayon?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you
She
too.
can afford Botox.
Not in her neck,
Joe and I
obviously.
have been together for almost 50 years.
Oh.
Not me dragging the first lady. I'm sorry, first lady. Let me rewind. How dare I be rude and drag you? I don't even know you, Miss Jill. Come on, bring your ass back out here with your foxy. Oh. Come on, first lady. My bad. Let me shut up. No commentary for Jill or Biden. Let them talk.
Lord. Did Biden fall down back there? That's why they.
Oh, Jill said, let me come out. See, we're not here to do this, y'all. Come on, first lady. And look, they out there. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Come on, first lady. I'm going to be nice and give her the big screen. Here you go, first lady.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is crazy.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome.
Thank you.
Right, silver alert.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you too. Joe and I have been together for almost 50 years. And still, there are moments when I fall in love with him all over again. Like when I handed him our baby Ashley for the first time and saw the smile that lit up his face. Or on nights after an exhausting day working in the Senate, when he would read one more bedtime story just because the kids asked. When he stops on a rope line because he sees someone grieving who needs to know that everything is going to be all right one day. Or to encourage that child with a stutter to find the confidence she needs. Those moments when I'm reminded of all he's accomplished in the name of something bigger than himself. Receiving the Medal of Freedom with humility. Placing his hand on our family Bible to take his oath of office. And weeks ago, when I saw him dig deep into his soul and decide to no longer seek re-election and endorse Kamala Harris.
Girl, he didn't decide that on his own. Stop it.
In conviction, Joe knows that our nation's strength doesn't come from intimidation or cruelty. It comes from the small acts of kindness that heal deep wounds, from service to the communities that make us who we are, from love of a country that shines with promise and renewal. Kamala Harris knows that too. Our son, Beau, first worked with Kamala when he was Attorney General of Delaware.
Let's see, she talk about Hunter there.
The table one night, Mom, she's special, someone to keep your eye on. And he was right. Joe and I know Kamala. We have seen her courage, her determination, and her leadership up close. Kamala and Tim, you will win. And you are inspiring a new generation. We are all a part of something bigger than ourselves, and we are stronger than we know. The future of our country is in the hands of those in this room and all of you watching at home. It's going to take all of us, and we can't afford to lose. With faith in each other, hope for a brighter future, and love for our country, we will fight and we will win together. Thank you. Thank you.
Where your husband at, Mia? Where's your husband at, ma'am? Who is that? Charles, that Demi Moore.
Good
No.
evening.
No.
I have this memo. It's the eve of my 8th birthday. Dad is still in D.C., tending to urgent matters in the Senate. That night, as a surprise, Mom told me,
Oh,
Bo,
Joe
and Hunter
Biden's daughter.
to get in the car.
Mm.
I remember pulling up to the Wilmington Amtrak station, riding up the escalator to the platform. The train stops, doors open, and Dad steps out. As soon as I saw him, I run down that platform and jump into his arms. Like magic, Mom brought out a cake, they sang happy birthday, and I blew out the candles. Dad hugged me, and he said that he had to get back to work. He crossed to the southbound train, and off he went to D.C. That was a snapshot of one moment, of one day, on this extraordinary journey of being Joe Biden's daughter. Joe Biden is the OG girl dad.
Oh my God.
He told me I could be anything and I could do anything. As a child, I would sit on the leather chair in his office doing my homework, and he would sit next to me doing his work, drafting the Violence Against Women Act. And he wasn't just a girl dad. I could see that he valued and trusted women. How he listened to his mother, how he believed in his sister, and most of all, how he respected my mother's career. Dad was always there, doing everything he could to be a true partner to her. Dad, you always tell us, but we don't tell you enough, that you are the love of our lives and the life of our love.
Oh.
I had my wedding reception in my parents' backyard. At the
Girl, no
time,
one
my dad was
cares.
vice president. But he was also that dad who literally set up the entire reception. He was riding around in his John Deere four-wheeler, fixing the place settings, arranging the plants, and by the way, he was very emotional. I thought
Is
that I would
this
be
a
a mess, but he
eulogy?
was the one crying, and
I'm
I was the one
confused.
who had to comfort him. Before he walked me down the aisle, he turned to me and said that he would always be my best friend. All these years later, Dad, you are still my best friend. His example in service inspired my career. I'm a social worker in Philadelphia.
Oh, because Kamala don't have kids to come up here and talk about her. Oh.
I support formerly
I'm sorry.
incarcerated women as they
Right.
heal from past trauma and they reclaim their lives.
Be safe,
Dad always
Nikki.
told me that I was no better than anybody else and nobody was better than me. He taught me that everyone deserves a fair shot and that we shouldn't leave anyone behind. That's what you learn from a fighter who has been underestimated his entire life. When I look at Dad, I see grace, strength, and humility. I see one of the most consequential leaders ever in history.
Carefully.
And I also know that he never stops thinking about you, about your dreams, about your dignity, about your opportunities, about your family. Dad knows that family is everything. When Hunter and I lost our brother Bo to cancer in 2015, the grief and the pain felt like it might never end. Dad had the capacity to step out of his own pain and absorb ours. And I know that Bo is here with us tonight, as he is always with us. After Bo passed, I got this tattoo on my wrist. It says, "Courage, dear heart." A reminder to myself to keep going, to get back up, like my dad has always done. He has taught me that a courageous heart is a miraculous thing. A courageous heart can heal a family. A courageous heart can heal a nation, and maybe even the world. And now, this election requires the courageous hearts of all of us. In 2020, my dad selected Kamala Harris to beat Donald Trump. And he knows in 2024, she will beat Donald Trump again.
Again.
Girl, what?
So tonight, I am asking you, if you stood with us in 2020, call upon your courageous heart. Stand with us today. Work harder than you have ever worked before in your life.
Oh.
This is the fight of our lifetime. Our freedom, our democracy, our reproductive rights.
How much do you think her suit cost? How much do y'all think her suit costs, please?
All of this,
That's a
all of
nice
it
one
is
too,
on
girl.
the ballot. And I know together we can do this because my dad helped show us the way. And now I would like to introduce my father, your 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
And see, this is so weird to me. I'm
Let
sorry.
me slow this back down. Let me put this on normal speed.
Oh my God. Listen, it's just so confusing to me because, you know, at the RNC, his kids came out and spoke about him because this is supposed to be us getting to know why we should vote for Kamala. This is Biden is done. His presidency is over with. We knew all of these things about him, sis. You know what I'm saying? This was supposed to be about Kamala, and she only spoke of Kamala at the very end.
She bringing up the death of her brother.
And not one
Girl.
time did they mention Hunter.
She said me and Hunter lost a brother. She did. She brought it up. She said me and Hunter lost a brother. But that's all she said. That's all she said. She didn't say nothing else about Hunter. Mind you, let me break this down for y'all over here in the black sector and y'all catching it. So we have people in the beef sector, the black sector, who have autistic children. Trump's child gets dragged left, right, up, and down for being autistic. I would like to y'all not bringing up Biden's son Hunter, who had gay porn, child porn, drugs, weapons,
Selling secrets and shit. Making deals that he wasn't supposed to be making and shit.
I mean, I just can't with y'all. And you have people outside there, you know what I'm saying? The energy inside is not matching what's outside.
Right.
There's people outside waiting for y'all to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And they're waiting for you to come back. Isn't Obama from Chicago? Obama, I mean, I'm not saying birthright, but didn't Obama come out of Chicago? Isn't that his quote unquote hometown? Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So, all right, y'all got it. Let's see what Biden has to say. He crying tears with his daughter.
What?
His daughter made. What? Oh, hey. Hey, co-host husband.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The moment we've all been waiting for. The
How much
president.
is Biden's outfit? How much is Biden's suit? He's wearing this is a Versace tie right here. That's a $3,000 tie. It might be a little more. I don't know how I know that. Don't ask me. Don't worry about my money. How much is this money? How much is this suit Biden's wearing, y'all?
Thank you.
You're welcome. He got that suntan girl from laid on that beach. While we at fucking war, you out here like, let me go on mute.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
You think he's still president?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Child.
Oh boy.
Lord COVID.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Lord, we're gonna have a warning on our video tomorrow. I forgot. You can't say them words.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Can y'all let this man speak,
Thank
child?
Oh, I'm
He
sorry.
ready
I
to
looked
go
it
to
up.
bed.
It's not 3,000. This is $6,300 tie. My bad. Sorry. It's not 3,000. $6,300 tie.
I could use about
I love
1,000 of that
you.
right now.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was my daughter.
No shit, Sherlock.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you for so. I tell you what.
Is this all we gonna hear, friend? Thank you and thank you.
To my dearest daughter Ashley. God love you, you're incredible. Thank you for the introduction and for being my courageous heart, along with Hunter and our entire family, and especially our rock, Jill. Who, as those of you who know us, she still leaves me both breathless and speechless. Everybody knows her. I love her more than she loves me. She walks down the stairs and I still get that going boom, boom, boom. You all will know me. No, I'm not kidding. Let's give a special round of applause to our First Lady, Jill Biden. My dad.
Oh my God.
My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle.
Oh.
In every election.
You got tired of his shit too?
To my dearest daughter.
It's not. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. It's not $6,000 tie. It's $630,000 tie. Not
Wait.
6,000. My bad. This is a $600 tie. My apologies for saying 6,000. My apologies.
Ashley, God love you. You're incredible. Thank you for the introduction and for being my courageous heart, along with Hunter and our entire family, and especially our rock, Jill. Who, as those of you who know us, she still leaves me both breathless and speechless. Everybody knows her. I love her more than she loves me.
Oh my God.
She walks down the stairs and I still get that going boom, boom, boom. Y'all will know me. No, I'm not kidding. Let's give a special round of applause to our First Lady, Jill Biden. My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I love you all. Folks.
What?
And America, I love you. Folks, let me ask you. Let me ask you, are you ready to vote for freedom? Are you ready to vote for democracy and for America? Let me ask you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, President and Vice President of the United States? My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, nearly 4 years ago, in winter, on the steps of the Capitol, on a cold January day, I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to you and to God to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. In front of me was a city surrounded by the National Guard. Behind me, a Capitol that's 2 weeks before had been overrun by a violent mob. But I knew then, from the bottom of my heart, that I knew now, there is no place in America for political violence. None. You cannot say you love your country only when you win. In that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic, historic joblessness, a call for racial justice long overdue, clear and present threats to our very democracy. Thank you.
This is different, Biden.
Mind you, this is our sitting president, guys. This is our sitting president.
This is a different Biden from the debate we watched with him from Trump. This is a different Biden that we watched him from the Oval Office stepped down from running for president. I haven't seen this Biden in a long time. He's not stuttering that much. He's getting it out. He's slow, but hell, he's old. You know what I'm saying?
And he's not letting the crowd deter him.
Right.
So this is, they juiced him up.
They
Maybe,
juiced
maybe not. Or this is just his farewell, which is almost sad.
It is.
Like, y'all, I'm not so anti-democracy that this is sad to see. And I'm not saying like on Kamala's end, it's sad to see our sitting president like this. That this is his last speech, that this man has cranked out every last, like, this is it for Biden.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be you know how Obama left presidency? You know how Clinton and Bush and all the other presidencies left presidency and still kind of, you know what I mean? Kicked it. This is it from my perspective. This is it for Biden. And this is what happens when you get older. These things happen when you get older, dementia, diapers, or confusion. These things happen. So I am not numb enough to say I won't salute this president on his way out. I'm not that numb. Sad to see, though. Sad to see that none of the other Democrats who really were Democrats, and I'm using air quotes, stepped up and, helped out. They left it for this. These are the remnants of our democracy, in my opinion.
And yet I believe then, and I believe now, that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us. Now it's summer. The winter is past. And with a grateful heart, I stand before you now on this August night to report that democracy has prevailed. Democracy has delivered. And now democracy must be preserved.
Hey, Lovestone. Hey, boo-boo. Hey, mama.
You've heard me say it before. We're facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not how.
I have a question. Please correct me. They would rather assassinate Trump while we have protests going outside of his camp?
Girl, Biden about to put me to sleep, Chad.
I'm just wondering. So Trump was getting assassinated, but Biden has protesters outside.
And everybody's acting like nothing's going on. No one is, that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Come on. I'll rewind it. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying because just imagine the voters that Kamala would get if she walked outside and addressed the protesters and said, I hear you. I hear your voice. I hear what you're saying. And speak to what they're speaking on instead of everybody just go on with the show as if nothing is happening outside.
Interesting. I'm just doing a puzzle over here. My bad, y'all. I'm just putting pieces together.
You cannot say you love your country only when you win. In that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic, historic joblessness, a call for racial justice long overdue, clear and present threats to our very democracy. Thank you. And yet I believe then, and I believe now, that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us. Now it's summer. The winter has passed. And with a grateful heart, I stand before you now on this August night to report that democracy has prevailed. Democracy has delivered. And now democracy must be preserved. You've heard me say it before. We're facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole, I mean it literally. We're in a battle for the very soul of America. I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America. Old ghosts in new garments, stirring up the oldest divisions, stoking the oldest fears, giving oxygen to the oldest forces that they had long sought to tear apart America. In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized I had to listen to the admonition of my dead son. I could not stay on the sidelines. So I ran. Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost part of my soul. But I ran with a deep conviction. In America, I know and believe in an America where honesty, dignity, decency still matter. In America, where everyone has a fair shot and hate has no safe harbor. In America,
I call bullshit.
where the fundamental creed of this nation, that all of us are created equal, is still very much alive.
Me too.
And a broad coalition of Americans joined with me. 81 million voters voted for us. More than any time in all of history.
I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but my co-host is here, so I'm allowed to wear a tinfoil hat if I want to. Do y'all not see the flashing? There was no flashing. Now, cameras are allowed, but there was no flashing when any other speaker was talking. I don't know if y'all see it. I'll dissect. But that helps with dementia. It snaps them. How do I...
Yes.
Y'all don't see the flashing, or is it just me?
No, I see it. It's repetitive.
Because
But
of all of you
some
in this
people
room and
say
others
it's
came
cameras.
together.
But there
But
was no flashing before this. because I am susceptible to flashing. That's why I don't watch some of his lordship's intros. That was one of my biggest things when I said, his lordship, don't do an intro. I can't do flashing because I have an eye sensitivity to that. That's, y'all not going to play with me. But go ahead. I don't know. I might have my tinfoil hat on. I don't know. Y'all go ahead.
Too tight. 2020 to save democracy.
Y'all don't see that? Okay. All right.
As your president, I've been determined to keep America moving forward.
Y'all don't see that?
Back. To stand against hate and violence in all its forms. To be a nation where we not only live with but thrive on diversity. Demonizing no one, leaving no one behind.
Boom.
Becoming a nation.
I don't see that.
To be. I also ran to rebuild the backbone of America, the middle class. I made a commitment to you that I'd be a president for all Americans, whether you voted for me or not. We have done that. Studies show the major bills we have passed actually delivered more to red states than blue, because the job of the president is delivered to all of America. Because of you, and I'm not exaggerating, because of you, we've had one of the most extraordinary 4 years of progress ever, period.
What about Kamala?
When I say we, I mean Kamala and me.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Just think about it. COVID no longer controls our lives. We've gone from economic crisis to the strongest economy in the entire world. Record 16 million new jobs. Record small business growth. Record high stock market. Record high 401ks. Wages up. Inflation down, way down, and continuing to go down. The smallest racial wealth gap in 20 years. And yes, we both know we have more to do, but we're moving in the right direction. More Americans have peace of mind that comes from having health insurance. More Americans have health insurance today than ever before in American history.
You seen Twitter a little bit?
As a young senator beginning to fight for 50 years to give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices, we finally beat Big Pharma.
Big Pharma who?
And guess who cast the tie-breaking vote? Vice President, soon-to-be President Kamala Harris.
He is aggressive tonight, baby.
And now it's the law of the land.
Go ahead,
Instead of
John.
paying $400 a month for insulin, seniors with diabetes will pay $35 a month.
Flashing.
The law we passed already includes, starting in January, every senior's total prescription cost can be capped at $2,000 no matter how expensive the drugs they have. And what we don't focus on, and our Republican friends don't even understand, ours don't just save seniors money, they save the American taxpayers money. You know what we just passed saved? They saved $160 billion over the next decade. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. But look, thank you, Kamala, too. Look.
I'd like to ask my people, my loved ones, those who have to pay prescriptions. Has it gone down for y'all? That's what he just said. It's gone down.
How can we have the strongest economy in the world without the best infrastructure in the world?
We don't.
Donald Trump promised infrastructure week every week for 4 years, and he never built a damn thing. But now, because of Kamala, I've done. Remember, we were told we couldn't get it done. Remember when we came into office, we couldn't get anything passed? But right now, we're giving America an infrastructure decade, not week. We're modernizing our roads, our bridges, our ports, our airports, our trains, our buses. We're removing every lead pipe from schools and homes so every child can drink clean water. We're providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where they live, not unlike what Roosevelt did.
What about Hawaii?
And so much more. We are uniting the country. We're growing our economy. We're improving our quality of life. And we're building a better America. Because that's who we are. How can we be the strongest nation in the world without leading the world in science and technology?
And we're not.
After years of importing 90% of our semiconductor chips from abroad, which America invented those chips. Our Chips and Science Act meant that private companies from around the world
are now investing literally tens of billions of dollars to build new chip factories right here in America. And over that period, they'll create tens of thousands of jobs. And many of those jobs in the so-called fabs, the buildings that make the chips, that are being constructed now. And guess what? The average salary in those fabs, size of a football field, will be over $100,000 a year, and you don't need a college degree. Because of you and so many electeds out there, American manufacturing is back. Where the hell to say we wouldn't lead the world in manufacturing? 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. Our Republican friends and others made sure they go abroad to get the cheapest labor. We used to import products and export jobs. Now we export American products and create American jobs. Right here in America.
Right here in America.
With every new job, with every new factory, pride and hope is being brought back to communities throughout the country that were left behind. You know you're from it, many of you. You know what it's like when that factory closed, where your mother, your father, your grandmother, grandfather worked. And now you're back, providing once again, proving that Wall Street didn't build America, the middle class built America, and unions built the middle class.
Okay. He acting like $100,000 is a lot of money, Chad.
And that's why I'm proud that I've been the first president to walk a picket line and be labeled the most pro-union president in history, and I accept it. It's a fact. Because when unions do well, we all do well.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, man. You got it. I agree. I'm proud. Look, remember I told we couldn't get anything done because we couldn't get anything done in the Congress? Well, with your support, we passed the most significant climate law in the history of mankind. Over $370 billion. Cutting carbon emissions in half by 2030. Launching a climate corps, similar to AmeriCorps and Peace Corps, creating tens of thousands of jobs for young people in the future. We're going to make sure this continues. Creating hundreds of thousands of jobs in clean energy for American workers, including the IBEW installing 500,000 charging stations all across America. And in the process, reducing carbon emissions. And we're seeing it. We're seeing to it that the first beneficiaries of environmental initiatives are those fence-line communities that have been smothered by the legacy of pollution. Louisiana and Delaware, Route 9. All the factories, all those chemical factories are right next to the poorest neighborhoods. They're the ones we're going to bring back.
What? Mm-hmm.
And how? How can we be the greatest nation in the world without the best education system in the world? Donald Trump and the Republican friends, they not only can't think, they can't read very well. Seriously, think about it. Look at their project 2025. They want to do away with the Department of Education. Well, during the pandemic, Kamala and I helped states and cities get back their schools back open. And we gave public school teachers a raise. We created apprenticeships with businesses and communities.
Y'all, be mindful. I'm a Texan. My governor decided to go against Biden. Okay. So I hear him. But I live in a state where my governor was willing to go to war against this bitch nigga.
Putting students on a path to a good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And by the way, we're making college a hell of a lot more affordable. Increasing Pell Grants by $900. Over $15 billion to HBCUs. Minority service engines, including Hispanic institutions and tribal colleges. We kept our commitment to provide more student relief than ever by lifting the burden of helping millions of families so they could get married, start a family, buy a home, and begin to build family wealth and contribute to the community and grow our economy.
How, Joe? How are we growing up?
Creating more wealth. We fundamentally transformed how our economy grows, from the middle out and the bottom up instead of the top down. You know, my dad used to say there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to drop down on my kitchen table at the end of the month. I come from a basic middle-class family. 3-bedroom house, 4 kids, a grandpa living with us, decent neighborhood, but never a penny to spare. And look, that top-down notion never worked. A lot of Democrats didn't think it worked, thought it worked, but it doesn't. And when we did all that, what we've done, everybody can do well. Everybody. Donald Trump calls America a failing nation. No, I'm sorry, but think about this. Think about this. He publicly says to the whole world, I'm going to say something outrageous. I know more foreign leaders by their first names and know them well than anybody alive. Just because I'm so damn old. But I'm not joking. Think of the message he sends around the world when he talks about America being a failing nation. He says we're losing. He's the loser. He's dead wrong. Many of you are very successful people who travel the world. Name me a country in the world that doesn't think we're the leading nation in the world. Without America, not a joke, think about it. I'm being literal. Who can lead the world other than the United States of America? Well, guess what? America's winning, and the world's better off for it. America's more prosperous, and Americans are safer today than under Donald Trump. Trump continues to lie about crime in America, like everything else. Guess what? On his watch, the murder rate went up 30%, the biggest increase in history. Meanwhile, we made the largest investment, Kamala and I, in public safety ever. Now, the murder rate is falling faster than any time in history. Violent crime has dropped to the lowest level of more than 50 years. And crime will keep coming down when we put a prosecutor in the Oval Office instead of a convicted felon. And folks, the distinguished senator from the C Senate from California and I passed the first ban on assault weapons.
Oh.
And guess what? It worked. If we care about public safety, we need to prevent gun violence. And what makes me ashamed when I travel the world, which I do, more children in America are killed by a gunshot than any other cause in the United States. More die from a bullet than cancer, accidents, or anything else in the United States of America. My God. That's why Kamala and I are proud. We beat the NRA when we passed the first major bipartisan gun safety law in 30 years. I'm serious. That comes from here. And now it's time to ban assault weapons again. And demand universal background checks. It's hard. I never thought I'd stand before a crowd of Democrats and refer to a president as a liar so many times. No, I'm not trying to be funny. It's sad. Trump continues to lie about the border. Here's what he won't tell you. Trump killed the strongest bipartisan border deal in the history of the United States that we negotiated with the Senate Republicans. It took 4 weeks. Once it passed, and then we acknowledged the most expansive border change in American history, he called senators to say, don't support the bipartisan bill. He said it would help me politically and hurt him politically. My God. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Not a joke. Ask even the press who doesn't like me. They'll tell you that's true. Typically Trump, once again, putting himself first and America last. Then I had to take executive action. The result of the executive action I took, border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, there are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office. And unlike Trump, we will not demonize immigrants, saying they're the poison of blood of America. Poison the blood of our country. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration, including protecting dreamers and more. And here's what else I believe in. Protecting your freedom to vote, your freedom to love who you love, and your freedom to choose. In its decision overturning Roe v. Wade, as you heard earlier tonight, the United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral political power. No kidding. MAGA Republicans found out the power of women in 2022. And Donald Trump is going to find out the power of women in 2024. Watch.
Don't push this on women.
And where Trump and his MAGA Republican right-wingers seek to erase history, we Democrats continue to write history and make more history. I'm proud to have kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman in the United States Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson, a symbol for every young woman in America that you can do anything. I'm proud that I've kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and that taps in to the full talent of our nation. The most diverse cabinet in history, including the first black woman of South Asian descent to serve as vice president. and will soon serve as the 47th President of the United States. She is good. Look. Thank you, Kamala. Folks, I've long said we have many obligations as a nation, but I got in trouble years ago for saying I'd make no apologies. We have only one truly sacred obligation: to prepare and equip those we send to war and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. That's why I'm so proud to have written and signed the PACT Act, one of the most significant laws ever, helping veterans and their families exposed to toxic materials like burn pits and Agent Orange. I was around during the Vietnam War. It's hard. Nobody was able to prove that there's illness as a consequence of Agent Orange. And no one was able to prove initially that because they lived in burn pits, like my son lived next to in Iraq for a year, that is the cause of their illness. But because of the PACT Act, a surviving spouse with 2 children is now eligible for a stipend of about $3,000 a month. And those children who lost a parent are eligible for tuition benefits to go to college and to get job training. It's already helping over 1 million veterans and their families just so far. Well, I love them, and I'm so proud of my son's service. We get it, but guess who doesn't get it and doesn't respect our veterans? We know from his own Chief of Staff, the 4-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in France, the brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? There's no words for person. They are not the words of a person not worthy of being Commander-in-Chief. Period. Not then, not now, and not ever. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Joe snapping.
No Commander-in-Chief should ever bow down to a dictator the way Trump bows down to Putin. I never have, and I promise you, Kamala Harris will never do it. Will never bow down. When Trump left office, Europe and NATO was in tatters. Not a joke. America First doctrine changed our whole image in the world. Well, they gave the hours, about 190 hours sum total, me and my counterparts who heads of state in Europe to strengthen NATO. We did. We united Europe like it had been united for years, adding Finland and Sweden to NATO. 10 days before he died, Henry Kissinger called and said, not since Napoleon has Europe not looked over their shoulder at Russia with dread until now. Until now. Well, guess what? Putin thought he'd take Kyiv in 3 days. 3 years later, Ukraine is still free.
What?
I'm about to rip this
When I came to
great
office,
man apart.
the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. They haven't noticed. No one's saying that now.
Lies.
And we'll keep working to bring hostages home and end the war in Gaza and bring peace and security to the Middle East.
Where?
What?
Where?
As you know, I wrote a peace treaty for Gaza. A few days ago, I put forward a proposal that brought us closer to
Biden, don't do it.
that than we've done since October 7th. We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now.
What?
End the
It's
civilian
all right.
suffering of the Palestinian people. And finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war. Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides. Yesterday, we worked around the clock to bring home wrongfully detained Americans and others from Russia in one of the most complicated swaps in history. But they're home. Kamala and I are going to keep working to bring all Americans wrongfully detained around the world home. I mean it. Folks, I've got 5 months left in my presidency. I've got a lot to do. I intend to get it done. You see, it's been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more. I love my country more. And all this talk about how I'm angry at all those people who said I should step down. That's not true. I love my country more, and we need to preserve our democracy. In 2024, we need you to vote. We need you to keep the Senate. We need you to win back the House of Representatives. And above all, we need you to beat Donald Trump. And elect Kamala and Tim, President and Vice President of the United States of America. Look, they'll continue to lead America forward, creating more jobs, standing up for workers, growing the economy, lower the cost to American families so they just have a little more breathing room. We made incredible progress. We have more work to do. And Kamala and Tim will continue to take on corporate greed and bring down cost of food.
Why aren't you bringing down cost of food?
$35 a month, not just for seniors, but for everyone in America. And capping prescription drug costs a total of $2,000, not just for seniors, but for everyone. And folks, that's going to save America again. Tens of billions of dollars. Folks, they'll make housing more affordable. Building 3 million new homes. Providing $25,000 down payment assistance for the first-time home buyer. More than the 10 we approved.
Who's
Donald
got
Trump wants new tax on imported
$25,000,
goods,
Joe?
food, gas, clothing, and more. You know what that would cost the average family, according to the experts? $3,900 a year in a tax. No, that's a fact. Kamala and Tim will make the child care tax rate permanent. Lifting millions of children out of poverty and helping millions of families get ahead. And you know what Trump has? He created the largest debt any president had in 4 years with his $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy. Well, Trump has a new plan. He wants to provide a $5 billion tax cut for corporations and the very wealthy. Read it. Put us further in debt. And folks, you know we have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average tax rate they pay? 8.2%. If we just increase our taxes we propose to 25%, which isn't the highest tax rate even, it would raise $500 billion new dollars over 10 years. They'd still be very wealthy. Look, Kamala and Tim are going to make them pay their fair share. They'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Trump wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Kamala and Tim will protect your freedom. They'll protect your your right to vote. They'll protect your civil rights. And you know, Trump will do everything to ban abortion nationwide. Oh, he will. You know,
I don't know.
Kamala and Tim will do everything they possibly can. That's why you have to elect the Senate and the House to restore Roe v. Wade. The ancient Greeks taught us that character is destiny. Character is destiny. For me and Jill, we know Kamala and Doug are people of character. It's been our honor to serve alongside them. And we know that Tim and Gwen Waltz are also people of great character. Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career. We've not only gotten to know each other, we've become close friends. She's tough, she's experienced, and she has enormous integrity, Her story represents the best American story. And like many of our best presidents, she was also vice president. That's a joke. But she'll be a president our children can look up to. She'll be a president respected by world leaders because she already is. She'll be a president we can all be proud of. And she will be a historic president who puts her stamp on America's future.
All right.
This will be the first presidential election since January 6th. On that day, we almost lost everything about who we are as a country. And that threat, this is not hyperbole, that threat is still very much alive. Donald Trump says he will refuse to accept the election result if he loses again. Think about that. He means it. Think about that. He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words. And that he'll be a dictator on day one, in his own words. By the way, this sucker means it. No, I'm not joking. Think about it. Anybody else said that in the past, you think he was crazy. He is crazy, but you think it was an exaggeration, but he means it. We can't let that happen. Folks, all of us carry a special obligation. Independents, Republicans, Democrats. We saved democracy in 2020, and now we must save it again in 2024. The vote of each of us cast this year will determine whether democracy and freedom will prevail. It's that simple. It's that serious. And the power is literally in your hands. History is in your hands. Not hyperbole. It's in your hands. America's future is in your hands. Let me close with this.
Okay, thank
Nowhere else in the world could a kid with a stutter and modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, grow up to sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. That's because America is and always has been a nation of possibilities. Possibilities. We must never lose that. Never. Kamala and Tim understand that this nation must continue to be a place of possibilities, not just for the few of us, but for all of us. So join me in promising your whole heart for this effort, and what my heart will be. I promise I'll be the best volunteer Harrison Waltz with Cam have ever seen.
Sure.
Each of us has a part in the American story. For me and my family, there's a song that means a lot to us. It captures the best of who we are as a nation. The song is called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, and I can't sing worth a damn, so I'm not going to try. I'll just quote it. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall our legacy be? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you.
He's saying his days are through. Lord.
I made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return for the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this from the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it. Folks, we just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing we cannot do when we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Lord have mercy. We're going this way, Joe. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. She had ran out there to get her husband checked.
She gonna walk him down. She talking about, thank you. Well, that's the last we'll hear from Biden.
Oh, look at her.
Well, that's the last we'll hear from Biden.
You know, I just don't understand. I just don't understand why he kept saying Kamala and Tim are going to lower the prices. Kamala and Tim are going to give these first-time home buyers, Kamala and Tim. Why ain't you did anything? What? You've been sitting over here sending billions and billions and billions of dollars to fucking Israel to fund a war, and then you want to sit in my face talking about we're sending relief aid to Gaza, food and supply. What are you doing, sir?
And Ukraine. Let's not forget Ukraine.
Right.
We've also been sending not aid, but we've been sending our people to Congo. I mean, we've just been underhanding.
Iran.
Mm-hmm. We've been underhanding a lot. And, you know, my biggest concern from what I've heard from Americans, besides us moms who wants, you know, free school lunch or whatever, and that's not even for our kids. You know, we have no problem feeding our kids. The biggest thing I've heard as far as American complaints is our groceries are high.
Mm-hmm.
And we need some rent lowered.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even asking for, from what I've heard, people I'm around, we're not even asking for like too much. They're not saying, hey, give us full rights to everything. I haven't heard that.
Right.
Lower some groceries and lower some rent and let us make do with that. That's the biggest complaints, Godmomma. What are the complaints you've heard from your area or where you're at? What are the biggest complaints?
The same. Grocery prices and utilities.
Utilities, okay.
And rent. It's through the roof. Minimum wage is shit. He's talking about insurance. He's talking about these factories are going to produce jobs that pay $100,000 per year without a college education. Newsflash, I hate to be this bubble buster, but in 2024, $100,000 a year is like $50,000 now. Can you live better than what you live if you're not making 100,000? Absolutely, but it's not. 100,000 is minimum wage. Let's be real. In the time
when you
we
make
live in,
100,000, is that net or is that gross or is that, you know what I'm saying? You can make
Right.
100. I would love to make 100,000 net. Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'd love to take home
and then it
100,000.
goes
But if I
into your
take
household.
home 100,000, that means I'm making 350. Right? To take home after taxes, after everything else, that 100,000 to take home, that means I'm making 350.
But
Okay.
that's not what he was saying. You gonna gross 100,000, take home 75.
504 has entered. She says healthcare and abortion. I got a hot fork or a hot iron or a hot. I don't know. I have in my area. I haven't heard that people are struggling with abortion. I hear people are struggling with food and rent.
Yes, I haven't really heard too much other than like media as far as abortion goes. I haven't heard of too many women going to get them either, so I don't know. I don't run in them types of circles. I don't know, because abortion is something that I'm very. I cannot be objective on. I will always be subjective. I'll always be biased. So my opinion would much rather be just kept to self. You know what I mean? Because
I just don't see that being in my area, in my neck of the woods. That's not a priority for us. It's definitely healthcare could be included. I want to say insurance is crazy, but definitely right now in my neck of the woods, it's food and rent or utilities or you know what I'm saying, things like that.
Are basic necessities to live.
Now I know there's areas that different strokes for different folks.
I mean, let's be real. The 20s and up, they're choosing to be homeless. They're choosing to live in their vehicles. They're choosing to stay at home because they refuse to pay rent. They refuse to pay water, gas, electric, and they have to get a second job just to be able to do things that they enjoy. I have seen so many of the 20s to late 20s on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter crying, literal tears of crying because every paycheck they get gets swallowed up by a bill. And most of these are kids with college educations.
Yep. 504 says no, in addition to the food, the rent, healthcare, and abortion. Okay. I hear you. Again, it's not a big in my area. Bigger cities, bigger areas. Lovestone says they only want abortion rights They not only want abortion rights, they want late term abortion. Well, I mean, again, not something that's in my area. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that there's not people out here wanting abortions. I'm sure there's a bitch tonight like, oh, damn, I'm pregnant. I want an abortion. I'm sure there is.
Absolutely.
However, it's just as far as list goes in my area, you know, the food cost is high, y'all. Okay.
And childcare cost.
Yeah.
And that's what I hear a lot of complaints about is childcare costs, because it's really got people in a chokehold to where it doesn't even really make sense to work, because you're not making anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I heard them speak on key
my
points.
son is 18 going on 19. And I made there was a choice made of stay at home mommy or send his ass to daycare. John went to daycare for, I don't know, like 3 months maybe or something. And it just didn't work for us. It didn't work for me as a mom. It was like, now the price was fine or whatever, but the treatment was not. It was like, oh no, baby, I could do better at home. Like it just didn't work. But the price was crazy. So I don't think childcare has, I don't know, maybe it's, you know what I'm saying? It's been years since I've had a child.
Well, I know in my local area,
them hoes are expensive. It's always been expensive to put your child in childcare.
It's like $1,400 a month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
And that's not even for like a 5-star daycare.
No. She talking about $175 a week. Yes, baby. It was up. Up.
And that's if they go or don't go. You can't say, well, I only want them to go 2 weeks. Too bad. You paying for the whole month, the whole week of that month, period. Like, there's no getting around it. So I heard them say some key points. I'm curious to what the Obamas have to talk about tomorrow, and what they will present and contribute to this circus that we watched today. I'm curious to see if the protesters will be back tomorrow, or if they stay out there all night. I'm curious to see what
I was
goes
about to
on
say
with
they're
that.
not leaving, so I don't. Okay. No, they're not leaving.
So,
and it's not just one protest. There's multiple protests going on in Chicago right now. They want to do the Free Palestine, and they also want to say, hey, get these immigrants out of community used for community people. Get them out of that. You got there's certain immigrants because they are a sanctuary city. So they got to hold these sanctuary people. But what the guy said, he said, we're at the brink.
Right.
Like, we don't have any room for anything else. However, y'all should have, from outside looking in, y'all should have never been a sanctuary city. Y'all have enough going on in your city.
Everybody's got too much going on in their city right now.
I mean, so I just, she said, pay me, I'll watch them kids. Listen, we might have to in the future, 504, because I won't. Okay. You and your badass kids can get out of here. I'm just kidding.
No free lunch program over here, ho.
Hell nah. I done gave up my mother, Teresa. Y'all should have met me 5 years ago. Okay? Because I am done. I am done. But we have somebody. We got 504. She says she'll watch them. Listen, and so does Miss Teresa. And good to know your people who you can trust and lean on. But it's a battle out here
really
for survival, bro. Just to eat. You know what I'm saying? You can't go out to eat. It's expensive to go out. It's expensive to stay in. It's expensive. Kids going back to school. You got to have lunch money. Unless you qualify for this, you ain't qualified for that. You know, I mean, it's expensive, y'all.
It's crazy. They ask you for
But
money
that's
to
the
put them
right.
into school. Then they
Put,
send you an email talking about we need some more money so they can take
put
a
the blame
laptop
where the
home.
blame belongs, Godmomma. Bitch, don't have kids if you can't afford them.
Okay.
That'll hurt some feelings right there.
It does, but is it the truth?
That'll hurt your feelings, right? Oh my God. Yeah, you and your 5 kids. Okay? And your 3 baby daddies. Okay? Y'all don't want to hear that part.
No.
Y'all don't want to hear that part, so I don't want to get too deep. But interesting stuff to hear tonight. Biden was on it tonight, wasn't he? Biden was like, oh.
He was aggressive. Very.
Photography.
I can't wait to see what Alex Jones has to say about this on InfoWars.
Oh, you know it's getting ripped up. Everything is. Hillary is going to get ripped to shreds.
Oh, baby, yes.
I mean, I thought her hair looked cute, but
Thank you, Love Stone, for hanging out with us.
good night, Mama. Yeah, Hillary gonna get ripped to shreds. The Republicans are gonna pick this shit apart. And guess what?
I'll be here for
it. Again, we're y'all standing outside protecting the gates. I'm
Right.
tired of the pick that, you know, everybody want to point fingers. You. Okay,
Thank
well, how about you take responsibility for yourself, your vote, your choices? And like you said earlier, I hope Kamala does win. Child. Why? So y'all could be like, told you so. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want a I told you so moment. I'm good.
And you know, another part of me wants to see if Trump and his people really about that life. Is y'all really gonna walk it like you talk it? Is y'all really gonna do y'all big one if you don't win? Is Trump gonna be on the next flight to Venezuela?
Well, listen, they said another news article came out yesterday saying September 18th, they have plans on shutting it down on Trump, y'all.
He gets to debate right before that. If they even do it. Oh my.
Day 1 of the DNC. And y'all going, the beef sector's going to Vegas soon enough. So once we're done with DNC, we can switch gears and see what Vegas talking about. We got all kinds of crazies out there. So I don't know. We'll see. Life has taken us where it takes us.
As it should.
As it should. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I didn't plan on adding too much commentary, but here we were, Godmomma. It's been like 5 hours for us. Oh my goodness.
I know.
It's been hours for us. We gotta go, y'all. And if we come back, we come back. All right. It was good to see y'all. We love and miss y'all. And you know, I guess on to the next.
On to the next one. I gotta see what the Obamas bring tomorrow night, chat. I don't know if I can take another 5 hours, but
I don't think I could do 5 hours either, but I definitely want to see Michelle and, you know, Obama and, you know, I don't know. They might save them for whatever. We'll see. All right,
y'all
y'all.
rest well.
All right. Peace and blessings, y'all. We'll be back. Good night. Like my release.